Dan's a fantastic man. He really is.
Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome.
What's going on, everybody? This is Dan French. This is the Sound Off, guys. This is Tuesday. Thank you guys for tuning in. I am your host, streaming live from Las Vegas. And I want everybody out there, thank you guys for tuning in. I got a great couple of guests here, a couple of my friends, actually. But they're in the real estate field. They're in the trenches, and they're out in the battlefield, I call it, of real estate. And so I want to go ahead and introduce Mr. Joey Andron. Joey's back. What's up, buddy?
What's up, Daniel French?
How are you doing, man?
Doing great. Doing great. It's been a while.
Dude, it's been a long while, man. What have you been up to?
Same old. Nothing's changed.
Is it wake up, real estate, kids, family, go to sleep, wake up, real estate, just like that?
Well, take the sleep out.
Take the sleep out. So that's good, man. So you're out in the trenches. What's going on in the real estate world? I mean, things are going crazy, right?
Yeah, we've been busier than ever. You know, this market's crazy. It's still crazy. We just stay really busy, man. We have a great flow of clients, and this real estate market in Las Vegas is second to none right now. I mean, we're really excited what's going on here in the city, and some great things are happening, especially in Henderson. So, yeah, we've just been super busy. Our clients are happy. We're happy.
Dude, you guys are killing it, too. You guys have a really good team out there over at Simply Vegas.
Yeah.
So you guys are really crushing it over there. And, we also have somebody else here I want to introduce. Her first time coming on the show. And she is somebody that really needs a lot of attention here today on the show. She's got a lot of information to talk about with real estate. Judith Gazelle.
Hey.
How are you, Judith?
I'm good, and you?
Oh, I'm doing wonderful, Judith. What's going on with you? What's in your world in real estate?
Well, it's busy as I'm just trying to keep up with everything, and it's just like sometimes a lot, and it's stressful sometimes.
What's the last name Gazelle? Like, what is that?
Gazelle?
Yeah.
It's a Lebanese name.
Lebanese? Oh, I didn't know you were Lebanese.
Yeah, I was married.
You were married?
Yes.
But that doesn't make you Lebanese.
Oh, no, I'm not Lebanese. I'm Mexican.
You're Mexican. Okay.
Yes.
I was about to say, break us down some Lebanese over here. You know what I mean?
No.
So let's talk today about what we're going to chat about with real estate. So everybody knows out there in the real estate world, it's tough. Everybody knows there's some challenges. And I want to talk about, have we hit our peak here in Las Vegas? I want to talk about their experiences and what they've gone through with some of their clients and what are the challenges they're overcoming through this hot real estate market, low supply, high demand. Everybody's beating you up. So Joey, let's talk a little bit, man. What's going on out there? Like, are you guys, it's hot or it's getting hotter.
Yeah.
The real estate market's hot.
Weather's hotter.
Right? So take me through the process. Where are we at with this market right now? Is it just, there's not a lot of property still?
Yeah, so right now, we have less than 30 days of inventory on the market. Too many buyers.
We have 18 days.
18 days. All right, so there you go. 18 days of inventory on the market. Crazy thing is, in the last, I think it was 17 days, we sold 160 properties over $1 million. So the million is becoming like the new norm. Everything that the low-hanging fruit of like the 250s, 350s are virtually becoming obsolete. It's very, very difficult, very competitive market. But it's really interesting to see what our luxury market is doing, right?
Judith, are you feeling the same thing over there? I mean, like, what are you dealing with out there in the trenches of real estate today?
What do you mean?
Well, I mean, like, when you start trenching and you got like a trench and it keeps going down and it's like you keep going and you just got to put your head down and keep going.
Yeah,
real estate.
When you have a situation, you just have to deal with it and the way that it comes to you, Yeah. Like, it depends. Every situation, every scenario is different, and you have to deal with it, You
have a lot of upset, you don't have clients that are upset, but you have people that are like, okay, I want this, and it's like a unicorn. Like, it's really not going to happen, right?
Yeah.
Correct?
It happens often.
Yeah.
But you know what's funny about that is I was just having a conversation with one of our agents, and, used to be like when you're in that $450,000, $500,000 range, you're listing off all of your must-haves, right? And you could in most cases you can accommodate. You can find that house. You can find the perfect home for those people, for your clients. But now it's becoming so difficult. like the 350, 400, 450, 500. I mean, it's, you really have to search. I mean, like tirelessly to find that property.
Yeah, I mean,
So
there was somebody.
that's the challenge.
There was somebody that takes out people at 450, 500, and they have like 7 or 8 people that I know, and they're just there's nothing out there. So, if you're looking at this market and you're saying, okay, well, there's a ton of buyers out there, right? We have more buyers than we have for properties. What do you do with these types of people, right? So how do you keep them motivated, and what are the challenges you go through with these people?
So what I do personally, and I express to my team that this is something that they must do as well.
Right.
But it's, you can't always do it just because, sometimes the buyer's expectations are a little bit differently. But anyways, I always have to bring the buyer into the office because I like to do a buyer consultation. I like to go over the market overall, give them a complete analysis of what to expect, right? So when we're to go shop for a home, based on their price point, I pull up all of the inventory and I say, look, this is what's available, this is what we can do, and this is what to expect. So really holding hands throughout the entire process is very, very important because some people get defeated, and it's not an easy market, and it's not an easy job for us either, right?
So does somebody like get to a point where they don't fire you, but they're just like, I'm going to step aside because I'm just this might not be for me. And I almost feel like if you do have that high luxury market, that you feel like you're beating everybody else out. The low income, middle income wage earners are the ones losing out. The people that need down payment assistance, or they need some, they got 5% or 3% or whatever it is. Good luck competing, right? Yeah. I mean, and what do you do with those people?
Well, it's tough. And actually, Judith and I were just talking about this. I was sharing an experience that I had with one of my VA buyers, and we submitted, I don't know, maybe 12, 15 offers, and she felt very, very defeated. And she was moving from the East Coast, trying to get closer to her father who lives in California, and she was done. She was done, and I had to have that, that pep talk, like, listen, I'm here with you the entire way, every step of the way, all the way through it. We're going to find you your home. We're going to get you into the home that you need, that's going to accommodate you and your family. Just stay with me. Just trust the process. And it was touch and go for many days and many weeks. But I'll tell you what, if you trust the process and you stick with it and you just have that tenacity to follow through, you will get that property. But it's not an easy market. It's not like the market that we knew 2, 3, 4 years ago, where you had the luxury of picking and choosing and kind of building those especially those homes that are going to check all the boxes, like via Legos, so to speak. Now it's kind of like, hey, look, if it checks 5 boxes, I'm in.
We're going to do something really quick here. I want to get your take on this as well over here, Judith. But I want to bring up. We have a question. So you did a deal. Was it you had Beth, right?
Yeah,
Beth. So she's on the show. And I'm going to read this question really quick. She put on here. She said, just saw in the news a report about squatters in a home that closed a month ago, and they have not been able to get them out. Is that a problem in Las Vegas? That's a good question, actually.
Very good.
Yeah.
Have you heard anything about it?
Well, it used to be tough to get them out, the squatters, right? Especially because people were using like, hey, listen, I had a lease with the previous owner. The previous owner sold. This is my lease, and they kind of, wiggled their way in there to stay in the property, and then they would have to go to court, prove that they had a lease or they didn't have a lease, and then try to vacate the property. It was a nightmare.
Yeah, it's almost like if they're there, it's almost like you have to evict them. Correct.
Yeah,
I mean, it's almost like you're going through an eviction process, and it's really tough in Las Vegas. What about you out there? I want to talk to you a little bit here.
Yeah.
Let's focus our attention over here right on Judith. Okay. So Judith, let's talk about your market and what you're going through with your clients. Are you dealing with the same thing like Joey's saying with these buyers? It's hard to keep them motivated.
Yeah,
but yet you're still finding properties, right? I mean, are you still?
Yes, we are. We are definitely helping as much as we can. There's a way that you can attack the offers and communicating with the listing agents and see if you have an opportunity, how many offers they have. You can find information before you submit your offer, because that's the way that you can help them, because when they have a difficult situation, being a FHA, BA, whatever, it's a way that you can attack better the offers for them, and you have a better opportunity and to get your offer accepted when you go and help them.
Yeah, I have to say that Judith, she has like some secret sauce, or the way that she talks to people, like it is absolutely amazing, because being VA and shopping for a home of like $240,000.
She's a
like,
queen on
I
it.
strike out left and right. And I tell you what, she'll come back to me and say, hey, listen, I call 3 properties. I have one. We're going to contract. I'm like,
well, I'm going to say this. So,
wait, back up. Tell me how you did it.
I know.
Judith, when you call me, I get like mesmerized a little bit in the sense that your accent kind of like gets me to like kind of calm down or something. It's weird. It's like you call me back, I got a client this, and I'm like, this is soothing right now. So maybe people are thinking like, oh, that's, your voice or something's going on, because you have to be likable. And then you got to have a good voice, right?
Yeah.
And I think that's combination, right? So you're going through these buyers, and these buyers are, I need to put in 5%, 3%. Is that a challenge? Because you know that these sellers are wanting to get above list. They want money above list if it doesn't come in.
Yeah, definitely. And they are like, they don't know really, they don't have really idea what is going on in the market. Only you know how difficult it is. And they don't really understand. Their thing is like, oh, just give me a house. Give me, like, and then you go and see like, I'm just going to attack this way.
Yeah.
And,
well, you go home, I'm sure it's a
people.
challenging business, right? Real estate is not easy. I mean, lending is not, everything we do in this business, you're self-employed. Like, I understand people think, well, you're going to go out there and you're getting a paycheck and you're getting all this lucrative money, but you don't know the challenges. There's probably 60% of what you do in real estate or lending that you don't get paid on. And people don't understand that. So I don't know, do you go home and you break a chalkboard, or do you bust the wall, or what do you do if you get something happens? What happens in your world? What do you do?
No, I mean, I get stress because it's definitely what you say. If you don't close, you don't get paid, right? But then they don't know really.
Hey, closers are for gets coffee, right? That's right.
Coffee's for closers.
Coffee's for closers. So you might get coffee that day, right?
Yeah, no, and then you go through all these situations that they don't have idea what's going on, and they think we're just receiving our paychecks like that, and we go through so many things. Every situation is different, and you have to deal with it how it comes to you. Every different contract is a different situation every single time. Yep. And then you learn how to, you learn on the go.
You learn on the go. It's on the fly.
Yes.
I'm going to bring up another question. I want to answer Vera's question. Since you mentioned luxury market, how does the market treat now brokerages coming into the Valley? Heard a prominent brokerage from LA might be opening an office here in Las Vegas. I mean, do you see a lot of these brokers coming out from? No, not really.
No,
not at all. Nothing.
I mean, I don't really think it has a major impact on what we do on a daily. It's just more agents. It's probably gonna be harder for them.
So I got another question. We have DJ here, and his question is: I remember you told me you had the lender you think you were going to have your Florida house in rental income, but sold anyway. Should I do the same for more purchasing power? I don't know really the question.
Sorry?
So he's saying, I just remember you told me had the lender think you were going to have your Florida home in the rental income. Maybe he's thinking that the Florida home using rental income to offset that payment. That's the only thing. But I'm trying to answer that. So DJ, if you can clarify just a little bit, man, I appreciate the question. Going back to this market though. So are we at our peak, right? Everybody's saying, well, we're going through a recession, or we're going to go through a correction. And, I'm always big on demographics. I watch a lot of things that happen. We saw 2005, 6, and 7 back in that market, but I think it's a different market. I think just the cost of shelter altogether is higher in this market. Now, what do you think? I mean, do you think we've hit our peak here in Las Vegas?
I don't think so. I think there are too many buyers, not enough inventory. It just goes back to that simple economics is supply and demand. Even though, better because you're the lender. Rates are ping ponging above 5 and people are still out there buying.
That's a big indicator.
What happens is, obviously the rates go up, you can afford a little bit less on your monthly.
Yes.
Right. So it's already super competitive in that 300, 350 to 500 price range. Right. So what is that going to do? It's just going to bring more people into that field of those lower price points. I say lower because that's kind of where we're at right now, right? It's not low by any means because you look at the payments, $2,500, $2,700, $2,900 a month, right? But
it's more likely what the people that works in the casinos that can afford.
Sure.
You know, and that's what is
Well, that's a good
industry.
question. Yeah, that's a good topic right there, because you got to think, can people in casinos, I know that there's a lot of lucrative money, cocktailing, blackjack dealing or just dealing in general, but can they actually really afford a home in today's world, right? Do you need two incomes or can you just be like, hey, you know what? I mean, they make good money though. Don't they make good money? I mean, I don't know.
No, because they make a lot of money on tips, so it's not reported. So it's technically they don't show they cannot prove how much they make, even though they make a little bit more.
Yeah,
that's a good point.
But you know what? Because I've had clients that were that worked in the industry, that worked as bottle servers, and they think that not claiming as much money is better just because they can put it in their pocket. So they make a lot of money. And in most cases, especially in pool season, they make really, really good money in a short period of time. It's up to them to claim their taxes in order to show how much money they make, so they can afford the houses. But if you're going to make $200,000 in 6 to 7 months, but you claim $30,000.
Yeah, they're not playing the game.
You can't play the market.
Right.
I'm sorry.
And I get a lot of people that say that, where they're going into it and they're like, oh, well, I wrote off all my income on my tax returns. Well, that's fine. Look, you're saving money, but when it comes in, you need to buy a $600,000-$700,000 home, because that's where we're at today. Let's be honest. I mean, I'm not saying you have to buy that, but if you're getting into the housing market here, you better bring in some capital. You better have some income to show, right? And I think that's the challenge. So you talk about people on the strip, right? Yeah. That's a challenge for all together, right?
Unless they're married, I mean, they can afford a little bit more, like maybe 600, I will say, because I feel like if you're single, you can, and working on the casinos, if you don't report your tips, you can afford around 300.
Yeah.
That's how much.
But if you don't record your tips, or
if you don't,
yeah.
Yes.
And exactly, right? So this is a message to everybody out there who's in the industry in Las Vegas. If you're planning to buy a house, start claiming your tips.
Yeah, and I want to say another thing. So let's go through the challenges, okay? And I want to kind of get the psychological part of it for a client, okay? You have people that are out there in the market and they lose focus, or they lose like, okay, I want to go buy. Maybe they just get discouraged. Is it hard to remotivate those people? Because I think it's that. And then take me into the challenges also too about what you deal with when you're actually writing an offer in today's market. Like what are some of the things you have to overcome still?
Well, number one, I mean, this is an emotional purchase, right? A lot of people are moving from out of state. They're relocating here to Las Vegas. They're trying to get all their ducks in a row, schools, if they have them, families, everything, right? So it's a very emotional move. That's why I like to have, going back to it, the buyer consultation, really, so I can, whether it's over the phone or whether it's face to face, I like to set expectations and really hold their hand throughout the process and let them know that there is going to be challenges, whether you're going for a brand new home or you're going on resale. Because even if you're going through a brand new home, every builder does it differently. It's either a waiting list, it's a lottery, it's a soft offer, or they call it easy offer process. So there's different, challenges along the way depending on which avenue you choose. So I like to be very, very forthright with all the information, communicate with my buyers, and just keep them engaged. Because once you set expectations and you pretty much create that path, people are more willing to stay engaged. If you just say, hey, look, you know what, come with me, jump in my car, we're going to take.
Do you do that still? Do you really have people jump in the car and actually, you take them out?
I do occasionally.
Do you?
Yeah, well, or if they're going to follow if they have too many people.
You don't feel worried?
Some people bring their whole entire family and they just can't fit in my car.
Oh my
I don't know, man. You're driving that Denali out there, so then you could just get all the kids. But I want to say this. So you're out there and you're like taking these people out. Yeah. I mean, so my thing is I think this world's changing. I think the real estate world's changing, where people are a little bit more scared about being alone, like doing an open house, taking people in their car. So does that really happen?
I mean, for me, I don't care. Like if you meet me at my office, we have a buyer consultation and we're going to go look at homes. Look, I just did it yesterday. I'm like, just jump in my car. We'll just go together. Yeah. It's better because we can talk.
What's the limit though? If it's 3 people, Or is it 4 people? Like when
Well,
you like,
well,
hey, don't jump in my car.
With the Yukon, it's 6.
I mean, it's different, I guess, when it's a guy, you know?
Oh, you're saying like it was a hot guy, you'd just be like, hey, you can hop in my car?
No. No.
Oh, okay. I thought you were saying, no, it's different if you have like a hot guy or something. You'd be like, oh, come on in. Everybody
as
else.
a guy realtor. Yeah, well, that too.
But you know, you look at this market, you know, and you look at what's happening in this world with everything that we're looking at as far as the acceleration on homes. You look at the scarcity of things, supply. I just don't know, like how can we keep going up? I feel like we're going to have to correct ourselves. Like, can maybe come down 10, 15%. You don't see that happening because look, rates are up.
I don't. So the client that I was with yesterday, who was actually driving with me in my car, he's coming. He just moved his entire company from Vancouver to Las Vegas to East Henderson, and he's moving his entire family. He's got a small child.
Wow.
And he's moving. So we're seeing, and the reason why this is one of the benefits of actually driving with your client, because you have the conversation and figure out exactly why, you know, what's the motivation of moving here. And it was just the business opportunity, the low taxes. It made sense for shipping and distribution for him. So it was really cool to learn all that stuff. But, you know, we have such an
influx.
Yes. So we have like an influx of people that are moving here from out of state. I mean, from California, from Vancouver, from Washington. We have people from Delaware, from Florida. I see a lot of Florida license plates right now. So I don't know what the draw is just coming into Las Vegas. And what's happening right now, you know, we have about 4 or 5 major hedge funds that are purchasing.
Oh, yeah.
Between the 250s to 450 to 500s that are paying $25,000, $30,000 above list price to get these properties cash quick close.
Word on the street. All right, I'm going to say word on the street is, we don't know if that's true, but a lot of these investors, these hedge fund investors, Wall Street investors, buying properties and then just holding them, not renting them, not doing anything, just let them sit there. And what is the outcome for that, right? It's to prop the market. Right, keep the prices increasing. Now, you know that back in 2005, 6, and 7, they bought all these properties for cash, and brought our market back. If they didn't come into this market, I don't think we would see. I mean, maybe, but do you think we would see the prices we see?
Well, they purchased 10,000 homes over the past 2 years. 10,000 investor homes. Now, and there was an article, or not an article, but there was on CNBC yesterday. They came out and they were talking about home builders are now more motivated to take offers from investors.
Hedge funds, yes.
Really?
Yeah.
Yeah. You know what? There was a builder though that actually said, hey, and I think we're doing it.
We're doing a deal right now.
Yeah, that said they're not going to take it.
Yeah.
And is it because their motivation is to keep builders or keep investors away?
Well, there's a percentage. It's not about all investors. It's about a percentage of the community being investor owned, because they don't want to turn it into a big rental community.
I see.
Right, and they don't want to screw over the owners who are primary residents there.
But
right.
some of them are built to rent only. You know.
Well, elaborate on that. What does that mean? Like, because I agree with you. There's some people that just don't want to take the leap, and they don't want to commit to a mortgage like a marriage. And there's some people that are just happy to rent. There is renters out there. There's a market for that, right?
Yeah.
There is, right?
There's a lot of renters.
There's a,
But you know what? And I don't mean to cut you off, but because I was just looking at this data, because I have a client. He purchased a rental, and he's been having a hard time. It's been on the market for almost 90 days. Or 90 days. So I pulled up all the...
His rental?
Yeah, so I pulled up all the rentals that were available here in Las Vegas, and I noticed that they were, in the last 7 days, between a 2% and a 10% price reduction on rentals.
Really?
Yeah.
Those doesn't looks. I mean, in Vegas, I feel like they go so fast.
Yeah, and I was so baffled because, we looked at the data. We purchased the home, or he purchased the home. I sold it to him based on the data, and it's in a great location. It's right off of Fort Apache and Sahara, right next to Boca Park. Fantastic location, 2-bedroom unit, listed for $1,750, and they can't rent it. So I pulled up all the rental data.
They can't rent that? I thought this place. No. I thought you had any property on the market you could rent it. Is this?
You would think so. Yeah. I looked at all the data, and I saw that in the last 7 days, between 2% and 10%. Now that's a broad stroke across the valley at all price points, but from 2% to 10% price reduction in rentals.
What I get a lot is like the first thing the people ask you is like, can I do the Airbnb? All the time.
Airbnb?
Airbnb. Everybody's interested in doing that.
Yeah, everybody thinks it's like a real quick dollar, but it's really not. Actually, I heard from a lot of people that it's not as lucrative as they think. And also, too, like you can make money, but you deal with a lot of things. You got to be in the city, right? The city. I don't even think the city of Las Vegas. It's not even approved.
No,
Yeah,
and they're doing it illegally.
So in Henderson, it's approved, but you have to apply for the licensing. But you can't be within 1,000 feet of another Airbnb property.
Oh, that's it. It's all done.
Yeah.
No more properties.
But the
But you look at the map, and it's very, very difficult to say, hey, I want that area, but you're within like 999 feet.
Yeah.
I
Can't
actually
do it.
think
1,101 feet, you're out.
There's gonna be a change on that rule. Like only in Henderson used to be, but there's gonna be one on June or July that there's gonna change, and there's gonna be allowed it in all Las Vegas. But it's gonna be similar because a lot of the properties are located in a HOA association,
Right.
so that's gonna be another issue with if you want to rent as a Airbnb.
I got another question for you, both of you. Okay, I want to talk about going to builders and really beating them up, right? As far as like, hey, give me some stuff for my client, right? Like I need some, knock this off, don't charge them this. Hey, you know what? Lock extension fee, whatever. So going with a client to go to a builder, all right, there's some people that think there's not a lot of help. There's not really a lot of help needed. Let me say that. Is there really, I mean, what do you do that's different, I would say, than the average real estate agent going to a builder? Because I think that's important for people to know.
Well, the build process becomes really, really complicated from day one, right? Especially if you're new to purchasing a brand new home,
Right.
And you don't understand the process of selecting structural and design center options of what you can do later on, to save yourself a lot of money. And if that's a conversation you want to have, we can go down that road. But in order to get through the process, having the relationships with the sales agents around town,
That really makes a difference,
100%.
Really?
It does, because we get to see what's coming up, what's becoming available if there's a fallout, right? So not necessarily every home, not necessarily every home that's sold in the community is going to stick.
Yeah.
So we have great relationships with agents all around the town that they'll send me their list if there's a fallout, if there's one possibly upcoming.
Well, see, here's the difference though. So you guys run a good team. You're a great agent. So here's the thing. You got to look at it and say, they're not going to give that to everybody. And why are they giving it to you? Okay, what is the real purpose of that? Probably because you gave them a lot of business, one. Secondly, you guys have enough business coming in that they know that if that fallout happens, you can put somebody right into that spot real quick because you have a lot of people seeking you out for your business,
Sure.
right? And I think that's a benefit to you guys.
huge.
There's a lot of perks with that. What about you have pocket listings?
Yeah.
Do you guys have that?
We
do. Yeah, we had. Judith had a few that we put under contract. But sellers that are like, hey, look, you know what? You sold me this property.
Yeah.
Or we know you. If you can get this number for me, great, fantastic, sell it. And it's a great way for our clients because we have so many clients in so many different price brackets.
Right.
That we can actually really
it's
pick and choose, kind of like, hey, look, this is gonna be perfect for you.
The price is really good, So, but the only thing is like if the seller doesn't want to list it on the MLS,
It's like playing Tetris. You guys remember that?
Oh,
every little shape has to fit. You guys are trying to find this one doesn't fit here, but it fits over here. And I think that's what you're trying to look at is where do these clients fit, right?
And I think that's a great point because that's a lot of what we do. That's a lot of what we do when we're in the office.
Yeah.
We're looking at properties, we're looking at the coming soons, we're looking at the fallouts, we're looking at the pocket listings, and it's like matchmaker at the end of the day.
Well, I want to bring up a topic. Maybe you guys don't want to talk about it, but you know what? I'm going to put you on the spot. And I don't want to do it, but I got to do it. All right. It's one of those things. I've been thinking about this, and my palms were sweating today because I was coming in thinking, you know what? I got to ask this question. Yeah.
Do I need to take a shot
and it's all directed over here at Judith.
Oh, my God.
Just playing.
Oh no! I just drank my tequila.
But here's what I'm going to ask you. So look, we've been in Las Vegas. How long have you been in Las Vegas, Joey?
Going on 9 years.
Okay. How about you, Judith?
9 years too.
Wow.
Yeah.
Man, you guys showed up at the same time and you showed up as real estate agents. What are the odds? Let me ask you this question. As far as crime goes in Las Vegas, have you guys felt that look, our population has increased, and I want to answer this running at altitude question. His question is, how many people are coming to Las Vegas versus how many are leaving? I know that on average, there's about 6 people a day that are calling Las Vegas their new home.
6 people?
6 people.
That's very low.
That's very low, but it's still a lot. And it's a lot. You got a lot of people still coming, and I would say there's probably for every 6, that's the numbers. Maybe 2, 3 are leaving. So we're still seeing more stay than leave. They're talking about by the year 2025 that we're going to be at 3 million just in Clark County here.
And we're at 2.2 million right now.
Correct.
So 800,000 more people.
Right. So the question I have is, as this is increasing, Vera brought up the fact that the security cameras and everybody's starting to see that there's a lot more crime. Do you feel like we're becoming a lot more of a bigger city with crime, and crime's just increasing overall? Because I see it every day. Maybe it's just in my face and I'm just a YouTuber watching YouTube, but I see it all the time now. And I'm a little nervous about it.
I mean, for me, to be honest with you, I can't say one way or another. I don't know. I honestly don't know. You turn on the news, which I don't watch a lot of because
but it's the type of stuff that's going on, like hit and run, hitting people and not stopping. That type of thing. I mean, I understand, but I don't feel like you had that before. I don't feel like people would just be like, "Hey, boom," and then you're gone. And then the increase in like going to the better neighborhoods. Like yesterday, I saw somebody, and I don't want to bring up some negative stuff, but I mean, it was in a nice neighborhood. There was a shooting, right? Yeah. And it was like, wait a second, why was that happening there?
Yeah, I mean, I can't say one way or another, like about the statistics of the crime, but I can definitely say that as the population increases, you're probably going to see more things happen, right?
There's clients that ask you, what is a safe neighborhood? I'm like, well, pretty much all of the neighbors have crime,
Yeah.
I agree. Now, I think they do. I do think that there's things, though, that maybe you see more frequently. I don't know if it's because people do have social media at their fingertips, but I just think that Las Vegas in general is changing. And I don't know, it's not that it's bad, it's just you see traffic at times that you used to not see it.
Traffic,
you see things going on, and I don't know. I just think that things are not the way they used to be.
That's like my biggest selling point when I have my clients from California. I'm like, we have no traffic. I'm like, if I'm sitting in traffic for like 5 minutes,
here's how you pitch
I'm
it
like
now.
honking my horn. I'm
Here's
like,
how you
what
pitch
the hell's
it.
going on?
Here's how you pitch it.
It's good as still. You get
amazing.
like a good smooth a move, but it's getting up there.
Here's how you pitch it. We have 45 minutes traffic. You have an hour. We're gonna beat you by 15 minutes.
15 minutes, right? Yeah. So my client that I met with yesterday, they're moving from California, and I was like, we were talking about like commuting. He's like, I'm a long commuter. I'm like, well, where are you going from and to, every day?
Yeah.
He's like, well, I commute about 2 hours.
Wow.
Right? 2
You
hours.
imagine the gas on that these days?
2 hours.
Oh my gosh.
I'm like, are you insane? I'm like, how far
Yeah.
are you going? He's like, 10 miles.
10 miles.
I'm like, what?
Is that New York or
Rush hour traffic, California. I'm like, dude. I'm like, come to the promised land.
Dude, I would just run to work every day. I would like put my stuff on my back and I'd just be running to work, man. I'd get there and I'd just do one of those spray showers, pat myself down. So I want to talk a little bit more. So you guys have a lot of input. I appreciate you guys. I want to say thank you guys. And guys, please subscribe, like the channel. We love you guys out there. We're trying to get to 1,000. I want to talk about what's happening with the schooling out here. We all know we're last.
Yeah.
All right. Ranked in the country. Last.
Dead last.
Where do you
my
go for
God.
good schooling here in Las Vegas?
So I am proud to say, I'm gonna toot my own horn here, guys. I'm gonna toot my own horn. So I live in Inspirada, which mainly everybody knows because I preach about it all the time. But my daughter was going to Ellis, which is a fantastic school. It's public school right there in the master
Where's
plan.
that at? I don't. Where's
So
that?
Ellis it's a brand new elementary school. It's like 2 years old.
Yeah.
It's in the heart of Inspirada's master plan.
Nice.
Right.
Okay.
My son goes to New Song, which is a Christian private school.
In Inspirada.
No, in Anthem. Right?
You don't go anywhere. Joey wakes up, real estate school, everything's in one area. I don't leave 2 miles.
4 feet from each other.
Yeah.
No, but seriously, so Anthem, my son's school is in Anthem, and then we just applied to American Heritage, both my kids.
Yeah.
So we got accepted. So
nice.
Yeah, we went through the whole interview process, the whole testing thing, and my kids got accepted. So
wow,
we're really, really excited about that. So
is there a process to that? I mean, you have to go through, like, because some people have to be like, oh, you got to know somebody to get into something. You know how it is.
Yeah, I mean, yes and no. I mean, our friend who's my daughter's soccer coach, recommended the school because that's where his son goes.
Yeah.
And we went there and we absolutely loved it. I mean, the whole curriculum, the athletic program, drama program, everything was fantastic about the school. And it's very hard to find.
What's your son gonna do, man? What's his best sport?
Soccer.
Soccer.
Yeah, but
oh yay!
But he's developed in baseball. He's a lefty, but he can whack the ball right and left.
What does he enjoy more, though? That's the question. Because look, there's a lot of kids out there that do sports. I'm not gonna say this, but because their parents want them to, right? Hey, go do it, and that's fine. You might want them to kind of get into something, just be active. But it's always like, what are you passionate about? You know, for me, I was good at soccer. I wasn't passionate about it. I loved it. I liked it. I was good when I was a kid. I was okay, you know. But I was actually more into like basketball, and then I got into dirt bike riding. So that was actually my passion. Unfortunately, I was not good at either one of them, so I wouldn't be sitting here. but you know, you got to have a dream. Yeah. So I mean, but you look at your kids and you look at what they're doing. So your kids, they're going to this school. They're in sports. Yeah. You're a good parent, man.
Yeah, thanks, man. I try.
You are. What about you? You have kids?
No, I'm not.
Okay.
I don't have kids.
Okay.
No, but,
do you want kids? I'm just playing.
I'm
just okay.
I don't know.
So what about schooling for you? Like, what do you think about schooling out here?
Well, I actually have the question for one of my clients, and I didn't know a lot about it, so I just asked, in the groups. Yeah. And I got a lot of responses, actually. And
that's a big topic. Listen, that is a big topic.
Yeah.
It really is.
And it was just like exactly what you say. A lot of people from California were very upset, like saying that we're the last and the schooling sucks here and stuff like that.
Well, but why are we last,
you know? Surprised.
Yeah.
But then I got really good feedbacks from like different kind of schoolings, because one area is Henderson, Green Valley, so everybody has a different inputs. And then there's some favorite schools. It depends, and what my understanding is, there's different schoolies depending on the challenger. I think the type of education they want. So
do you guys know the difference between like a challenger or is it magnet school?
The magnet school.
The magnet schools, right?
There's different type of education, I believe, in the type of schooling that they want for the kids. So and there's like privates and they're public. So some people, they just want to have a free schooling, so they just want a specific area. But there's some people that they don't want to like the public, and then you just can search the home. Doesn't matter because they're gonna pay, you know. So it all depends.
Well, Judith, I have a question for you. You've been talking a lot. Do you want some more water?
No.
Oh, okay. I can get you some more water. If you want some more water.
Oh, you're serious? I feel like I'm not talking.
Judith's drinking water over here, so I just had to see if she wanted some more water. But no,
agave water.
He got me tequila. Like,
what?
Like you got me.
That's water. So let's talk a little bit. Okay, I want to say this.
Yes.
So your opinion on the schooling is what? Like, do you feel like you can? Is that a strong pitch, or you would want people to pay for schooling? Because I think that's really everybody's only alternative, right? To pay for the schooling for kids, if they want to go to if they want to go to a good school.
I think yes. You're
really.
Right. I definitely think.
Joey,
so.
What do you think?
Yes.
I think if you're in the right school district, you can find a great public school. But if you can, afford the public school, or the private school system, definitely go in that route.
I don't understand why we're ranked every single year the last. I mean, I don't understand. Like, we got all these other resources and money's flowing. You know that we were like number 3 in an economy?
Yeah.
But
did you see the article or the news thing that came out the other day that it was a teacher? She was at a public school, or she's a teacher at a public school, and she was looking for a place to rent for her and her family. And she spent, over $1,000 on applications. And she didn't get one property. She was priced out of the market, and they were actually living out of their car.
No.
Really?
A teacher. So,
see, and that's the thing is like teachers, and look, we all know that there's a strong push to get more income for teachers out here. I think you look at this and there's nothing we can't do in Las Vegas. Like there's so much money being pumped in here. We got another casino coming up. I mean, every single year it seems like there's businesses and job opportunities. How can you not get top quality teachers and pay them well and stay here and have these kids? We're like, I was reading an article. We're number 3 in the country as far as the growth of a city or a state upcoming here in Las Vegas. And it's like, wait a second, we're in the top 3 and we still have a subpar teacher or a schooling system.
I definitely think that they know that and they're gonna take care of that, but it will take time. And I feel like the bad reputation, it will take very long time.
Well, the other thing too is I saw you're seeing stuff in schools that you see teachers or kids fighting, teachers fighting. I'm not saying that doesn't happen, but it just seemed like I said, maybe it's social media. Maybe it's the fact that, we look at this stuff now and people have it at their fingertips. I don't know. I'm just looking at it. Maybe I'm more aware of it as I get older. I just see it all the time though. Yeah. It's a little bit too much.
I think social media definitely has a big part in this. Kids see it, they see violence, it becomes the norm, you become desensitized. I remember when I was growing up, you got into a fight with somebody. It was like you get a fist fight at the bus stop or you like behind the racquetball or tennis court, wherever it was in the school. And you hash it out. Next day you're having lunch, with each other. You're playing ball.
Maybe it's like that there's not really a lot going on, so they do make news about. I don't know. I just never seen it this much.
It's just because now it's more violent, but that's a completely different topic.
What about the so Ver brought up a good question here. Now, Ver's my boy, outstanding citizen person of Las Vegas now, and he just got a house with Joey here. Got a loan with me. So Ver, salute to you, brother. Thank you for doing that. I wanted to answer his question here. CCSD is also one of the largest school districts. There was another question actually he had over here. I think he was talking about the police, and I was looking at that. So. What about the police system here? Like with people that we're doing like the police and how everything's flowing here, and are we getting more police officers on the strip? We see a lot of things on the strip, like this guy that I don't know if you saw this, punched a guy, right? Goes to court. Obviously he killed him, and he got 20 years. Saw another one recently where he's on the strip, and we're not trying to scare you to say don't come to Las Vegas. This is not a doom and gloom. Don't come.
Let's change the conversation.
I just want to say this though. Okay, so these things are out there though. They're real, and so you look at these people on the strip, and one guy was petting somebody's dog and got stabbed. And I'm like, does this happen on the strip again? The guy went off running. And so, I don't know, man. It's just maybe pressure. Maybe, I don't know. There's more people.
There is more people. There's more population.
That's what it is, right?
As the population grows, we're not like a metropolitan city. We're a small Las Vegas strip with suburbs.
And there's a lot of people that's out of town. No, doesn't mean they're from here.
That's true. That's a very good point.
That happened there, because a lot of events that happen every single day in the strip, and there's people out of town.
Yeah.
It doesn't mean they're necessarily from Vegas.
Yeah, we could have the same conversation about Miami. And any Memorial Day weekend, Labor Day weekend, you look at the videos. I used to live there, so I know.
You used to DJ there.
I did.
Welcome to Miami. Yeah. Dude, Joey was on it, man. Joey was on it.
The tequila's kicking in.
I'm going to say this, though, man. I bet you pulled a lot of good things out of these clubs.
I was actually a very, very good boy.
Really?
Yes.
Man, yes. Yeah, is your wife watching? Right? So anyways, let's talk a little bit about what's going on. So I want to go back into the Las Vegas market. How many homes are on the market roughly right now?
Oh, God, like 24?
They're like 25.
2,500?
No, there was the listings. There's like...
There was a listing?
There was
2401.
There was 25,000 listings this past month. And we sold 2,300. But we have on the market 18 days. of inventory.
So look, we all know that the inventory hasn't really increased. When's the last time you guys can even remember that we had properties over 3,000 here in Las Vegas? Because I can't even remember over.
What was that? 2018, 2019?
That's what I'm saying. Like, so it's almost like interest rates. They're kind of like the same. And then all of a sudden, when you hear that pop, it's like everybody's like, wait a second, we're not going to know what to do. But I just can't see this market not changing, at least this year going into next year, because you talked about it. The demand is still there.
Yeah.
Low supply.
Yep.
And people, you hit 5% rates. Folks, we hit 5%.
But also understand that for us to be in a buyer's market, we have to have over 5,500 or 6,000 homes on the market. And we hit that in 2019.
It's crazy because it's like
2019,
that's
18,
crazy.
It was a buyer's market.
Yeah.
Right. I remember I was working with buyers.
Well, is it a buyer's market or was it a healthy market? Because look, if it's a healthy, this is what I think. 2018, you had enough homes on the market, but it wasn't oversaturated. You had just enough buyers on the market, and the rates were still good, like decent. So it was almost like you got to have that ebb and flow of there's got to be so many properties with so many buyers with the appreciation levels going at a more of a steady, slower, more of a small incline, not we're going straight up. Yeah. And I think that's kind of what we're looking at.
I mean, I think we were in a strong buyer's market. Like 2018, 2019, because I was working with clients and I was working with them for years. And I showed them 200 properties. There was just way too many options.
Wow.
When do you fire a person? That's the question.
Listen.
Like, is it 40, 45 offers?
No. If you do 40, you're like, wait a second. I just wasted, not wasted, but I committed.
So what is the amount? What's the most amount of offers that you wrote for one person?
Well, listen, I'll get there. So if I'm working with a client for a year and a half and I've showed 40 plus properties, you don't fire them.
No.
Heck no. You're too committed. Yeah. You're so far down the rabbit hole that if you just walk away, think of how much time and money and everything else is wasted, right? Your emotions are gone. You're weathered. You're battered.
It's like, and then the motivation level is just not there, right? And you're like walking, it's like...
No, because it's too much to choose from. They're like, oh, I want this. Oh, I love this house because I want this, and this, and this house. And then it's like, everything every day, people have access to information, which is fantastic, but too much information is not very good, right?
So you're saying it's overkill, like
it's overkill,
it's they go into
because you'll never find the perfect home.
They go into overload, basically. Yeah, it's like I got.
But the situation now is like I don't have options.
Yeah, and now it's the reverse psychology to where hey, look, I am, and honestly, I mean, we do our team and. We do a really, really good job on getting to know our clients, going to bat for our clients, trying to get our clients the best property for their family and them at the best possible price. And that's what we really do. We take pride in that with all of our clients. I mean, we put our heart and souls into that, especially our team at Simply Vegas. But sometimes there's only two properties to choose from.
Do you feel, I'm going to say what you guys, and this is just a mindset of what I think. You got to have a little bit of a fight in yourself when you talk with people and clients, because I think one, people can sniff out if you know what you're talking about right off the beginning. But also two, you got to be assertive enough to not be disrespectful or rude, but also let them know hey, if you want this done, you got to do this. And if you don't do these things, you won't get the result you want. And there's some people that are, I'm not going to say they're pushovers, but they're just happy to get a client. They're happy to work with people. There's nothing wrong with that. But they're the people that are like, you got to stand up for yourself. And what I mean by that is you got to kind of come in and say, hey, we're going to go look at these properties, right? Maybe you can attest to this. Yeah. But there's got to be a point where it's like, okay, you did it your way. If you want to get into a property, you got to do it our way, right? Yeah. Is that not true?
Yeah. You have to be very honest from what is the situation going on, because if no, you're gonna be looking forever.
Yeah, and that's a very good point, because I express this to my team as well. We're very empathetic on our client situation, but we also have to be we have to educate our clients on the market, right? And sometimes certain people, they have to do it their way. So I always say, hey, look, you know what? I'm here for you. I want to make sure that we get from point A to point B and very successfully. If you want to try it your way, let's do it your way. If it doesn't work, now we try it our way.
Absolutely.
Right? Because I never want to come across, and I don't want my team to come across ever as like, hey, listen, we're just trying to slam you into a house. Let's just get into a house. Let's just do this. You need to buy this. You need to buy it. If you don't do it, you're out.
You just come up here and say, sign here, here, and here, here. Have a good day.
Later. Yeah. Right.
Buyer's broker agreement.
But then, like, for you, like, what do you recommend for the financial side? Like, locking the rate, like a pay
I thought you were going to say
point.
for my hair.
No.
I was going to say Rogaine does help.
Now for the situation that is going on, that the rates go like up, like, you know, like water. So what do you recommend?
Well, I think you have to look at it like rates do go up, but again, it's going to come down to we can only do what we can do. You know, we're like a bartender. You know, we get the order and we serve it to you based upon what's given in the markets, similar to what's going on. So we try to adapt and adjust. But it really comes down to the psychological fact of, do people and consumer confidence, is it there? Are people willing to still buy in a market above 5%? And Joey put it right on there. He said, yes. You know, people just continue. Look, if fear of missing out is what it is, maybe that's it. I think it's a combination of, you look at shelters going up, but then you have other people that are like, well, if we don't buy now, where are we going to be at in a year? How many people call you guys and say, rates have gone up, I should have bought, or prices have gone up, I should have bought. Yeah. Joey, what's out there now? You know, like, what's out there, Judith? Like, what can we get into? That's the stuff that people do.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah, I was having this conversation with one of my really great clients that I've sold multiple properties to here in Las Vegas, and he wants something specific in Spanish Trails. And I had a conversation. I was like, hey, look, I found the perfect property for you. It's checked all the boxes, everything we've been looking for over the past couple of years. This is it, right? Now he's like, I don't know if I want to move to Las Vegas. I'm still in California, a lot of investments, his company, the whole deal. And I was like, look, I wish we had this conversation about flipping homes the past 2 years. He's like, don't remind me. He's like, don't remind me. I don't want to have the conversation.
Dude, $95,000 is what the average across the country, not here in Las Vegas, but across the country, of equity people built in 1 year.
1 year? Yeah.
1 year.
Yeah. So the luxury market is where it's at right now for Las Vegas.
Think so too.
So I have very close friends that are flipping properties, and they're only focusing on luxury now.
Yeah.
I'm invested in a couple properties myself right now in luxury, and the amount of return that's kicking out, and this is a new investment for me. This was just presented to me, so I was like, I got to get involved, right?
I got a story for this.
Right. However, I mean, but like the amount of money people are making in luxury right now.
Oh yeah, it's
$500,000,
ridiculous.
$600,000, $700,000 on a flip in 120 days.
Like I said,
It's insane.
rates don't matter at this point.
They don't.
They don't. I was going to bring up this topic about a real estate agent. I used to work next to a real estate office, right? And this guy used to show up, and it was like his own office, and he'd show up in like the 8 Series Mercedes, you know. And then I'm like, man, what does this guy do? You know, like, what is this guy's deal? Like, why is he's killing it. He got the suit. He's coming out smelling fresh.
Is an 8 Series a BMW or
what is it? I don't know. I don't know. Is it a 6 Series? What is that series? It's one of those series. It's the World Series. Whatever it was. So it was a high-end Mercedes Benz, right? And he comes in. He's got a license plate, and on the back of it says Flipper, and it had a little like a little sticker of like a dolphin. I was like, dude, this guy's taking his situation way too serious, dude.
He's making so much money he doesn't care.
Well, this was crazy because it was back in the day when it was like 6, 7. You know, it was only properties are only 100,000,
right?
150,000. Last question, and we got to roll. All right. Okay. So, question is for both of you: what are the pros and cons of this market? I don't want just the pros. I want to know what's the negative part of this market, buying into this market, if you have one.
Well, obviously the negative part is low inventory and the battle that you have to go through in order to get your offer accepted, right? So it's always going to be a case-by-case basis, you know, but on average, properties are selling between $5,000 and $25,000 above list. So when you're approaching an offer or you're submitting an offer, you have to understand that if you're going to be bidding above the list price, you have to come up with that money in cash as well as your down payment and your closing costs. So you have to have a lot of cash on hand, right? The positive is once you get into a property, especially in a really good area like a Summerlin, in the nice areas of Spring Valley, in Inspirata, in Cadence areas, you're going to have a tremendous amount of equity because they, not just me, but all of the analysts predict a 24% increase going into next year. So,
well, but is that going to be sustaining itself over year from here on out? Because I feel like it's slowing down. People are saying it's only going to appreciate 5%. Right, it's not going to be 23% like it was last year.
Galvar is already project.
Who's Galvar?
Is our real estate board.
I thought it was a guy.
They've already predicted double digits going into next year. 2% increase going in every month over month. That's 24%.
So you're saying, let's just kind of reiterate. You're saying that the bad part is you have to have a lot of money to get in, but once you get in, you're kind of honored into the system, and you're going to basically write your ticket.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What about you?
The cons and the pros.
Let's do the bad news first. Everybody wants to know what's the bad news about real estate over here, Judith?
The bad news is it's difficult if you have no really good financials. Like if you have a harder situation, it's really tough for you right now, and it's the way it is, and that's is gonna change. If the market adjusts little by little for them, because it has to, because for now, for them, it's really difficult to get into the market.
Look me in the eyes right now, Judith. Would you buy in this market and go?
Yes, I will. I will definitely buy in this market because I think it makes sense. It depends if it's not for everybody. It depends in each person, a scenario, and their situation in life. I feel like you have to analyze what if that makes sense to you, and if you are in the right situation to afford the house and everything, and it makes sense to you. Yes, I think it's definitely a good moment because Vegas is not gonna slow down. At least, no, I don't see it because there's a lot of investors. Vegas is one of the third hottest cities in the country.
You just said it right on the head.
It's not gonna go down, and there's no way.
I couldn't have said that better myself. I'm telling you. What about
you? Try it in the accent.
Let me see. The market is not going down. Did I do good?
Yeah,
I did good. See, I said, look at that soothing voice there, Judith.
Okay.
Let me say this. Okay, so that was the pros.
Yeah, they combine it.
What's the bad part of Las Vegas right now? Buying. Do you feel like we're in an inflated market? Overinflated.
Overinflated, yes, definitely.
You don't feel like there's going to be a crash?
No, it's not.
How about a recession?
Recession, yes.
How about we're going to be at the gravy train trying to get our meals because we're not going to have any money because inflation?
No, I mean, I don't see that. It depends who you are. If you if you don't have I see that happening a lot.
So if you don't have $1 million or $2 million in the bank,
have the money, they're definitely gonna look that route for sure.
Well, I got to get in and get in my bowl, man, because I got to get ready. Yeah. Because I'm going to be on the other side of the pendulum. No, so you guys have anything else to talk about with real estate? So Joey, I just want to say this, man. First off, Joey is a trooper. Joey's a hardworking man. He's a guy that I have a lot of respect for. I do. And he's a good family man. And guys, if you're looking for a real estate agent out there, don't stop any further than Mr. Joey Andron from Simply Vegas. Right, Joey?
That's right. Thank you so much. I appreciate that. Thank you. Yes. Yeah. My number is 305-608-3543.
Call Joey now. But I want to say this, man. Thanks for coming on.
Yeah.
Guys, you guys have anything else to say about the housing market? Little nuggets or anything?
No, I just want to say this. Look, I see, I can't see who that is. Running at altitude. Is that what it says?
Asking a realtor, should you buy now?
Yeah, listen.
That's a good listen.
I understand.
That's a good question.
Yeah, no, I respect that question. And I saw that, it caught my attention. And you got to look at the metrics, okay? You got to look at the supply and demand, where it's at, and it's not just our market; it's across the entire country right now. What's going on, right? So it's either we're setting a new standard, we're setting a new bottom for our market, coming from 2008, 2012, when the median home price here was like $150,000, $160,000. That whole scenario is completely changed. We have catapulted into a new scenario to where our median home price is $465,000. Right, so we're pushing $465,000 with no inventory, and there are buyers that are coming into this market with 25, 30, 40, 50% down cash buying these properties. So it's not a high risk market like it was back then with the subprime loans and, every, cocktail server or stripper can buy 3 homes on interest only with no money down, right? It's a completely different market. So it is a stable market. Everybody's just fighting for houses, fighting for a home for their family, and they're going to do whatever it takes to get it, right? So if I could say, should you buy a home now? Or I could be devil's advocate and say, hey, you know what? Hey, don't wait. Wait 5 years. See what happens with the market. And then all of a sudden we're at 550, 700 for a median house price. Then what happens, right?
No, that's a good point. I mean, you got anything to add to that?
No.
I want to bring something up. So I think there's a yin and a yang to this, right? I mean, it's like there's two sides to it. Okay. I think that you're right. You do, as a real estate agent, look, you get paid by getting loans done, getting deals closed in real estate as well. You can come out and say, hey, you know what? There's the negative part here. And, you could say, well, there's more positive than negative. I really think it comes down to whatever your situation is.
100%.
Like if you're in California and you're coming here and you're saving money on taxes, or you're coming here and the gas is cheaper just a little bit, or your business taxes, or you don't have as much, or it's less, property taxes, whatever it is, there's a middle ground to, yes, it maybe, you got to do the pros and cons. Does it make more sense to buy now? Even though it's not about the market necessarily, because I don't know if you can really time the market, right? It's
very difficult.
It's difficult.
You have to time the market on your situation. And, going back to, talking about clients who have, been in this market for 2, 3, 4 years in the past, and always, hey, you know what, this market's getting out of control. Oh, now it's COVID. Oh, I'm going to wait to see what's going to happen. And I have so many buyers that I'm still in contact with that are completely priced out of the market because they were approved at 350, and 2.5 years ago, 350 was a great price point to be in. Now it's becoming obsolete. So your options become less, right? Inflation is on the rise. New home builders, they don't reduce their prices, number one.
No.
Right? All they do is they raise their base prices. They never go backwards. So
100%.
There's a lot of people that got out of the market in these months because of the change of the rates too.
Well, it's the change of the rates. I agree. That's a good point. I also think there's other things to this too. It's like, look, I'll just tell you, I wouldn't buy in this market. Right? I'm gonna flat out tell you.
Yeah.
Well,
why
you're a pessimist.
Well, exactly. I'm a negative person. I wake up every day and say, don't buy. No, it's just because it's not, look, I'm looking for something specific, right? If you're looking and you're moving from another state and you can sit on the sidelines, there's no sense of urgency for me to leave.
But you're not an urgent. You don't have
I'm talking about investment properties or anything, right?
Well, that's a completely different animal.
Yes.
Right. If you're trying to buy a primary, right? Maybe some people are looking for a specific property and they have the money. They have all the things that they want, but they're in a position where if they're gonna buy this price, they want to buy everything that they want. They don't want to buy 5 out of 10, 6 out of 10.
But that's not the masses.
10 out of 10.
That's not the masses.
I agree. But that I would see why somebody wouldn't buy in this market.
Yeah, but that's the masses, right? So like my client who I've been working with for years, and I've sold him multiple properties, investment properties here, but he's looking for a primary residence if he decides to move here in Las Vegas. He's just not ready, right? And I can respect that. But when we're dealing with people that are literally moving away from something, right, towards something that's going to better their life and their family, and you're trying to find them a home, and they're saying, "Hey, is now the time to buy?" I'm going to say, hell yeah, you need to buy right now, because the way that things are going, you will be priced out of this market. And the property, the condition of the property doesn't change. It's the value of the property, right?
I think it makes sense for them to spend more money here, or when you consider it doesn't make sense to you because you're spending more time in Vegas. You see the change on the prices, but for them that they come from expensive California, so that totally makes sense for them that this is nothing for them.
So it's not being biased. I think it's just a case by case. Now, if you're saying, am I an investor and should I buy in this market? That's a personal decision at that point. Like if you got money and you're just going to go buy an investment property, I don't know. I mean, if you think you're going to get the returns, go try it. I mean, you look at flippers. Yeah. 5-10%,
I have one client that was looking on the La Mesa Ridge a year ago, and it was he got really like, no, it's 1.8, no way. this and that. And now I spoke with him like a few days ago, and I say, now they're like 3.
3 million?
And I'm like, close like that. Yeah. When you close them, yeah.
So then they're done. They're just like, oh, 3?
1 million up, and you didn't want to make a move.
I also want to say this. Joey's obviously a really good real estate agent, but Judith is an amazing real estate agent too.
Oh,
She is.
And Judith, it's that voice. You get somebody on the phone, they're just going to say, where do I sign?
Okay.
Where do I sign?
Like
Take me to the property, Judith. And your last name is Gazelle, right? Gazelle.
Yes.
Gazelle. Nice. All right, we're going to end the show, guys. I just want to say, everybody out there, thank you. We have a lot of good information today, guys. If you guys have any more questions, comments, I'm going to have Joey's information, Judith's information. Everybody that's on the show is going to be able to get a call. I know there's just people flocking to call them for real estate tonight. And so thank you guys. If you guys, you have anything else to say?
No.
Thank
You have a website? I mean, what do you got,
Yeah,
man?
so we are the Chuck It School Swallow group at Simply Vegas, the #1 team at Simply Vegas. And give us a call. We'd love to assist you with your transition to Las Vegas.
And where do you work, Judith?
With Joey and his team.
All right, guys.
Kids group.
CKG, right?
Yeah.
That's how you gotta say it.
Yeah.
Anyways, guys, thank
CKG.
you guys so much. This is Dan French. This is we'll see you guys on Saturday. We have a great show. We have somebody coming on from a builder. Please like the button, subscribe, put any comments, any questions that you guys have, and we'll see you guys at the next one. Have a good day.
Yay.
The changing landscape of the housing market in Las Vegas requires a real estate professional that understands how to get your offer accepted, willing to go above and beyond for service and accountability. Hi, my name is Dan French. I've been in the real estate and financing industry for over 13 years. Most real estate agents struggle with answering their phone. Please call me directly, 702-557-6176,